Good morning. Welcome to the Community for Conscious Living Weekly Live broadcast. Today is Sunday, September 3rd of 2023. The Community for Conscious Living is a community dedicated to personal transformation for universal harmony, healing the planet by making inspired changes in ourselves and in our daily lives that create a sustainable environment and a peaceful world. Today's topic is about balancing desire for change and our passion for change and acceptance of what is. Because how often do we feel like, oh my gosh, I know that the world needs to change. There are things that people are just doing without being awake to it. And they're harming the planet and they're harming the animals and they're harming each other and they're harming themselves. And we know better. So we get so excited about our message and we want to beat them over the head with it so they'll wake up and get with the program and so that we can all have more peace, more health, better health, more sustainability, more compassion in the world, living with love and compassion. And then we remember, okay, wait a minute though. Speaking of love and compassion, that is the basic message. That's the basic premise of what we all really care about, living in a world of peace, of love and compassion. So how do we balance this desire for change with the acceptance of what is in the moment, what is before us? So this has been an interesting walking for me. I will say the Community for Conscious Living Meditation and Healing Circle began 7 years ago from tomorrow on a Sunday. So this is the 7-year anniversary technically of Meditation and Healing Circle. Been doing this every week for 7 years. And I think I've missed two times. One when when my nephew passed away and one when I was in the emergency room with my father. So it's very exciting to bring you, what I hope is, things that is support and help and healing around things that you struggle with on a daily basis, that because we live in a world of duality, of multiplicity. We are beings of love and compassion, and yet our nature is that we separate from our core truth and our oneness with all that is, and we would test the boundaries of nature, right? How far can we push it this way or that way before we cause enough pain to ourselves that we realize it and we feel that desire to find our way home to ourselves, home to our truth, home to our connection, home to our Mother Earth. And we've pushed it pretty far, right? Over the history of humanity. I do believe when you look at the bigger picture, we are on our way back home and we're close. And as we get, just collectively speaking, as we get close, the dualities, the contrasts really show up pretty starkly. Now, I started this 7 years ago, and right after I started, literally, it was in September 7 years ago. A few weeks later, my father's wife passed away, and my father was 94 at the time, and it really, it was a sad occasion for us. And I really struggled with him living alone. I didn't want to see him living alone. It scared me. He had congestive heart failure. He'd been on blood thinners for a long time. He, I worried because there was so much risk, right? And didn't even realize how sick he was until I moved in with him. I decided I could not stand to see him living alone. I was terrified. So I left. I was in Florida at the time. I left Florida, moved back to Texas, and moved in with him. And guess what? 7 years later, here we are. And I'm still here with him. And I wouldn't change a thing. I really appreciate every second of this time that I've had with him and would not, I don't want it to end. He's going to be 101 years old in October. And so it's been a beautiful time. It's been a time of growth, of expansion, but it's also brought many challenges. When I lived by myself, I lived a vegan lifestyle for many years. I first went vegetarian in 1990. I don't remember when I went full on vegan, but being able to live in my own space and not have animal products in my house, not have anything that had that reminded me of that. I lived without television. I did meditation a lot and exercise, working out. I had a beautiful routine. I woke up every morning and from like 4 to 6 in the morning. I did my meditation and just got into this amazing space. And then I would check, what's on the agenda for the day, what's the schedule for the day, take a glance at the emails, and then I'd go for my workout, for a run, or, I was running, half marathons more than marathons, but occasionally a marathon back then. And, was just really loving life. I ate healthy. It was everything that I wanted my life to be. Now, moving in with my dad, it's very different. Oh boy, I could tell you some things. The house is full of, things that I did not have in my life before. And especially the consumption and use and display of animal products and things that I would never have in my own home if I were living alone and or living with someone who of like mind, I should say. So that's been a huge adjustment, and also television. I said I didn't have television, and now the television is on from 7 a.m. until midnight. Those are the hours that he's awake, and that's his form of interaction and entertainment. And yes, we do other things too. We do, get out during the day and do things. But that's been a huge one. It's also put a lot in front of my eyes that I was able to keep more in denial before when I was living my happy life. So I've become a little bit more fired up about some of the things that are status quo in the world that are not uh, uh, like fostering peace, right? And there's a lot of it. I'm a lot more the dualities and dichotomies and the divisiveness is really, I'm seeing a lot more of it than I did before because I was able to live in my bubble. I'm not able to live in my bubble anymore. And so I feel that passion and that desire to change. And I see things here in this town that, oh boy, a lot of poverty here, a lot of, again, things that really pull on the heartstrings when you see families in need and in challenging situations and the violence and the abuse and everything that that goes on in this is a small refinery town. It's a poorer, uh, economically poorer community, and and there's a lot of struggle here. So again, it's like, oh, wow, my desire for change, my principles that I hold, and really being able to be with what is from a place of love and compassion and acceptance. I definitely see how we could all do better, but you can't just go beat people over the head and say, hey, wake up already. Don't you know if we just make all these changes right here, right now, we'll all be better off? It's not so easy. So this is something I've struggled with and have not mastered. But together, God willing, we're going to move through some pieces today because I have been getting some insights about it. And so I do want to share it with you. And when we open up for our Q&A at the end of the meditation and healing circle, I hope that you'll share your insights with me too. Okay, so let's come into our meditation and healing circle. Let's come into our circle sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee, coming together as one. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate, let's all bring all of our focus and attention toward the center of the circle. Our hearts meet as one, and we call from our hearts, we call on our source, and we ask you to send your essence of your pure divine light. Just imagine, perceive, feel this pure divine light streaming into the center of our circle. And just let your heart center, that funnel of energy at the front of your heart space, let it, this, the eye of your heart look directly into the eye of this pure divine light that streams into the center of our circle, and just let it fall. Let this light really fall on you. Let it absorb into your pores and through your skin and into your body, filling all of your body with pure divine light, with pure divine light. And as you drink in this pure divine light, just let it travel through your nervous system. Let it travel through. And let it move all the way as it travels through your nervous system. Just let this light warm up. And I know I'm in Texas in the 100-degree heat, so but let it cleanse and purify and warm up those places in you that maybe feel a bit, what's the word, like out of the loop of your circulation. It's the best way I can feel into it in this moment. Right? Sometimes we feel our circulation moving through our body, and there's sometimes when we really tune in, we feel, I don't really feel any movement there. I don't feel any circulation there. So as you absorb this light in, let it travel through your pores and absorb, right? And on the edge of your skin, you have those neurological receptors that feel, right? Feel touch and sense. They sense cold and warmth and all, and they sense energy too. So let that travel through all of those sensory pathways and just awaken to pure divine light and unconditional love. So let's call on that unconditional love right now, calling on our source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you. We ask you to send your essence of your unconditional love. Just imagine this unconditional love streaming into the center of our circle, streaming in unconditional love. And again, turn that heart center, that funnel of energy at the front of your heart space, turn it into this stream of unconditional love. Let it tip up slightly and let this unconditional love just pour in gently into your heart center. Use your heart center like a breathing portal and breathe that unconditional love in through your heart. Breathe it in through your heart. Breathe it in. And as you breathe it in through your heart, just let it travel. Like with each breath, let it travel in deeper. And as you exhale, just let yourself release any of the tension, the clutter, any of the, you can give a tapping on your heart center if you'd like, kind of loosen things up, or a thumping on the thymus. You can hear it when I talk and I'm thumping my thymus. But you can give a tapping, and actually, I think it feels good to do the tapping of all the way across your upper chest from shoulder to shoulder and even down the sides of your neck where all these lymph nodes are, and just let this lymphatic drainage, just let it loosen up and move through your body as this light and this love and compassion are moving through. And if your body wants to move, stretch, unwind in any way, just let it have whatever motion it wants to have, to open. Let your spine elongate and upright. Right, and feel this stream of pure light as it streams through the top of your head and runs through the center of your body vertically from your head to your tail, all the way center of your body, halfway front to back, halfway side to side, moving like, and just imagine it moving in that space between your heart and your spine. And as you again lengthen your spine, upright your spine, and lean back into that space behind your heart, and in front of your spine. Just lean into that space. Inhale all of your energy into that space with you. And as you exhale, drop down and land into your pelvic bowl, really sitting into your seat and just standing or uprighting yourself into that vertical core, being in the light, like immersing yourself within that light and merging with that light and really receiving the hydration of the unconditional love, letting that just absorb into your being, let your body be like a sponge and absorb that unconditional love, like the gentle water, pure, clean water of unconditional love, all the way into every pore of your sponge. Your sponge is soaked and saturated all the way through. And again, together, let's call on our source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you. We ask you to send your essence of your eternal compassion. Compassion. Compassion is the womb of our entire existence. It is Rahman in the Arabic language and comes from the same root as the name for womb. And it is the womb that contains this entire ocean of living consciousness. As the poet Rumi says, these forms we seem to be, our bodies, are cups floating in an ocean of living consciousness. We think we are the cup, but truly we are the ocean, too near to see, though we swim in it and drink it in. So let your cup be open, floating in this ocean of living consciousness, and let the ocean move through your cup and flow through you. And Rumi says, don't be a cup with a dry rim. So let yourself really drop into this ocean of compassion and feel yourself held and supported and loved in this ocean of compassion, this womb of our divine existence, of the entirety of this time and space realm, is contained in this ocean of compassion, never separate from compassion. And what is compassion? Compassion, like it holds you, it loves you, it sees you, it values you, it accepts you as you are. It knows you better than you know yourself, and loves you even more than you love yourself. This is the eternal divine compassion. It extends well beyond this time-space realm and is the container, the womb in which this entire existence exists. Let yourself immerse into that, again, merging with this divine light that is the core of your being, absorbing this unconditional love into every pore and resting your entire being in this ocean of living consciousness of divine eternal compassion. And let yourself breathe and rest into this ocean. Excuse me. Breathe and rest into this ocean. Now, as you might imagine, when I first started the Community for Conscious Living, I really had visions of where this was going to go and what it was going to be. And the turn of events, of moving in with my father shortly after beginning this venture in the group on Facebook and everything, it's very much changed. And I mean, for a while, I wasn't even able to be active in the group. And I've gotten to a place where I can be active in the group again. And we've got a lot going on in there. And I want more. I want more going on in there. I've had to roll with what is and put a lot of my deep desires for change on hold. And I'm going to pose that question to you. Are there deep desires that you have for change that you've had to put on hold because you had to deal with what is in front of you in the moment. Life takes detours. It takes changes. And sometimes then we question, well, is this really what I'm supposed to do? Is it what am I supposed to just be with what is and accept what is when I know that I can't change what's right in front of me? Like, what do we do? And I know I've spoken with some of you who have relatives and people that you love and care about deeply who are, they have ways of being and thinking and believing and acting that don't agree with your beliefs and your values. And we struggle. We want to share with them what we feel is so important, vital to their health, vital to their safety, vital to the health and sustainability of our planet, vital to the future for our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And yet, it's just not in their view. They don't see it. They don't believe the same. And boy, it's a struggle. It's hard. And it's hard sometimes not to give up. But let's take a moment. Breathe into your heart. Feel the desire and passion in your heart. And let it speak to you. Let your passion really build up inside of you and speak to you. And breathe into it, right? This is, again, if you want to upright your spine and feel that light coming through your vertical core, lean into that space behind your heart where that breath of spirit pierces through the veil to breathe into you, right? This is what breathes your passion into you, breathes divine inspiration into you. Let yourself just drop in, lean into that space and be present with what breathes through you. What is it? Feel your passion. Feel your passion. And let it well up. Let it build. We are beings of passion. We are here. We are breathed by divine inspiration that wants to manifest through us. That is a part of our purpose, right? We have purpose. We are here for purpose and on purpose. And we feel that build up. And just let yourself feel it and feel the desire and the true, where it really connects in with your truth and your belief. And you are true, yeah, we've got to make the changes we need to make in our world. And, it's it is vital. It is vitally important. Feel that importance. And I will say at this moment, don't surrender that importance because it is vitally important. It is important that you live your passion, that you speak your passion, that you know your passion, that you feel your passion. And then I want to invite you to bring those people, especially if there are key people in your life, bring them right in front of you. Imagine them sitting in front of you at a comfortable distance as you feel your passion and your desire. And just see them there. See them there. Your passion and your desire comes from a place of love and compassion, right? So as you feel this in yourself, just let yourself just breathe as you hold them in front of you. And just notice what's there. First off, just notice. Let's just take some time, be with and notice. Because when you think about it, how Imagine if you were on a ship and you're sailing the ship, you're navigating or you're steering the ship, and a big storm comes up and the seas get really rough, right? And we're not here to deny that the seas are rough. We're not here to um, like sugarcoat anything when the seas get rough, right? It's not serving. We have to accept the conditions and be honest with ourselves about the conditions. And we have to, like, we have to call on our wisdom and our skill on how to navigate the winds and the waves, whatever Mother Nature's throwing and offering in that moment. And we have to call on everything we've got to know how to be safe with what is and what's coming. The more information we have, the better we can navigate the storm and steer the ship. So, to be with our knowledge, our skills, our know-how, our connection with the Mother Earth and the weather and all that comes, and our source, to be with all of that at the same time while present with the rough seas. It's like there's a skill in that, right? And in order to get through the rough seas, we've got to stay positive. We've got to believe that we're going to get through it. We've got to be able to see ourselves on the other side, on the safe shore. We can't lose that hope. So as we sit with our passion and compassion and we see the rough seas in front of us, the people that we want to change, that don't get it and don't think they need to change or don't see things the way that we see it. That's, in a sense, our rough seas. We have to be present with what is. We have to understand what's in front of us, the conditions of the seas, what's going on. We have to call on our skills, our know-how. We have to stay positive and be able to see ourselves on a safe shore and draw on some skill to be able to steer through the rough waters, navigate the course with intention and purpose. So let's be present with what is. Be present with what is and breathe. Center and calm yourself, even here. Center and calm yourself. Really let yourself be in that connection with your source, receiving that light, that love, that compassion, letting that further illuminate the truth inside of you, and being with the rough seas. We're all here as beings of light and love and compassion, all of us. And we're here on a journey, right? We all have things that we know and things that we don't know, things we're awake to, things we're not awake to. We're all somewhere on a journey, but we're not all at the same place. We can be assured of that. We know that beating people over the head with our knowledge and what we know and combating is more likely to have people like pull away than see your truth. So really let yourself, again, even lean back further into that core and center yourself. Center yourself into that core of light. Really stand firm with conviction and confidence and an inner peace and love and compassion of what you know to be true, what you've been awakened to. And let that really align within you And let that become like a beacon of light that is, like the lighthouse that will draw the ship, guide the ship home. Let yourself be like the lighthouse. Let that light build in you. Let it strengthen you. Let it fill all of your core. Again, inhale, draw your energy into your vertical core. And as you exhale, drop down and land into your pelvic bowl. Really let your being really anchor into your I am center, like your pelvic bowl, your sacral center is your I am center, your place of being, your center of being. So your creative life force, anchor into that and let that creative life force be like a wellspring that moves like up and connects with your heart, and your head moves and connects with your heart. Like just let all of that connect along that vertical core, become that beacon, and really extend out, like standing in your truth, extend out that, or let that love and compassion shine. Let it shine from you as you hold that core truth and let it be a beacon. Hold it solid, confidently, with certainty. Stand in the truth that you know and be like, again, the lighthouse on the safe shore. And wonder if you can think to maybe a time where you didn't always know what you know right now, something that you feel really passionate about, before you were awake to that, whatever that is inside yourself. What is it that changed you, that changed this for you, that woke you up to what is? Sometimes it's things that are harsh. Sometimes it's an illness or documentaries I know change a lot of people, and I watch a lot of documentaries, and some of them can be really hard to watch. So sometimes it's the hard things that jolt us awake. Other times it's, recognizing that, just, finding compassion, feeling compassion, seeing things that are hard to see. I mean, they do wake you up. But I don't know that I've ever willingly changed because somebody wanted to beat me over the head with a message as if I was wrong. Because sometimes that's how it comes across when we want to beat somebody over the head with our message, is that, what's wrong with you that you can't wake up? You're doing something horrible. You're a bad person. And even though that's not what we mean to say, that's what comes across. So how can you communicate from that center of certainty, confidence, truth, light, love, compassion, and be that, like, centered in your core, be that beacon of light and beacon of truth as you speak to the heart of what the heart needs to hear, what the heart needs to feel in order to be touched, not to be made bad or wrong, to be seen. Hey, we are all, as Ram Dass says, we are all just walking each other home. We're all trying to navigate these rough seas together. We're all trying to get to the safe shore. And we all, at the core of our beings, just want love and compassion and connection. We want to be safe. We have basic human needs that really connect us in with the spiritual connection with all that is. That's our way home. when our basic needs feel threatened. It's to find the way to what we truly need, that love, compassion, safety, connection, truth. And that's found through the heart. So again, how can you touch the heart? How can you extend that love and compassion? And as you find that within yourself, part of you that wants to extend that message in a loving, compassionate way, in a way that finds acceptance for people where they are and can meet them, reach out a hand and guide them. Like as you find that and connect with that, feel that place in your own heart. Feel the pain, frustration, the hurt. Because maybe you felt rejected by the people who just don't want to listen to you, who don't get you. Especially when they're family members, right? I mean, they're the ones that we want to have that connection with the most. And they're the first ones to reject us most of the time. So, that can really be a source of pain, of wounding. Because how can I be true to myself and still be a part of this family? Ouch. So feel that place and let that love and compassion move into that place in your own heart too. Really bring the healing to your heart. And breathe that in. Let that fill your own heart. The place in you that has felt rejected, not heard, not seen, not valued, not appreciated, not understood. That too is a basic human need. So let that part in your heart just be filled and surrounded and held in love and compassion. And let's sit with that for a minute. Really let that place receive. Especially if you feel a wounding in your own heart, just really let it be surrounded with love and compassion. Let it be held. Let it be heard. Let it be seen. Let it be witnessed. Yeah, when they don't get you, it can hurt. And most of the times, it's not personal. It's just that they really have not awakened to what you've awakened to yet, right? And it's not a comparison. It's not a better than, worse than kind of thing, because we all awaken to what we awaken to in different timings. They may be awake to things you're not awake to and frustrated with you. You might be awake to things that they're not awake to and you're frustrated with them. It's part of the grand orchestration. And it's usually not personal, right? We love each other and it hurts when we don't get each other and when others don't get us. So I'm sensing we need to spend a little more time here just letting that place in our own hearts be held and be bathed in love and compassion, be heard, seen, understood, valued as it is. Really let yourself hear and see your own heart, understand what's moving in your own heart, listen and value and appreciate what's moving in your own heart, and acknowledge your truth, even in the face of the pain. We're going to stay with this for a minute. It feels like there's some big stuff moving there. Just imagine a gentle waters of love holding and surrounding this place, and loving. And the truth is, some of the people we care about the most may never wake up in the way that we want them to. They've got their own journey. And, we can still hold to our truth, hold to our values, speak, as Jesus said, speak the truth in love. We can speak our truth in love, but we cannot make other people change. We can't make them follow. The chips may fall where they may. I'm very passionate about the vegan lifestyle in order to create a sustainable environment so that we have a planet to live on in 10 years from now. That's one of my deep passions. And it's amazing how much easier it was to feel like I was making a difference until I moved in with family who has no desire to change at all in that respect. They may never get it, right? The universe brings us opportunities to learn and grow in the face of adversity. My family is very accommodating, and they have made some shifts, but they really don't have any desire or intention to change in the way that I have. Yours may be the same. You may have family members that whatever's really important to you, they have no desire. They don't see the value in it. They don't agree with your beliefs. They have no intention of changing. We can't force them. If the planet does destruct and we don't have a planet to live on 10 years from now, all I can say is I held to what I believed, and I did the best that I could, and I could not make other people change because we can't. And we can. We can't and we can. There are some who will, and some who just won't. And in the grand orchestration of things, we're all in this world together, and we are all walking each other home. So there is that level of acceptance, compassion, love, truth, conviction, passion, and desire for change. Just feel how that kind of lands inside of you. Like let the shifting waters of all of that kind of come into some settling inside of your body, inside of your heart. How does that want to land in you? How does it want to settle? And again, amidst all of these waters, let yourself be that lighthouse and that beacon of light that stands tall and really shines the light on the safe shore as best you know it. Be that light, be that beacon, and hold that hope, right? There is the reality of we may or may not ever get there, and there is the hope and that visualizing the future. And this is what I'm working toward. This is what I'm going to give my energy to because this is what I believe to be true. This is what I care about. This is my passion, my beliefs. And if I go down, this is how I'm going down. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah. I mean, any of us, we could be gone tomorrow, today. We never know. How do you want to go out? So let's hold to the positive. Be the beacon of truth. Be the beacon of light. We could be like my dad, right? Turning 101 years old next month. So we could have long lives ahead. How do you want to live it? If you have, whether it's one day or another 30 years, 50 years, 60 years, how do you want to live it? How do you want to live it? So let that land inside of you. See how it wants to level out. The waters want to level out, right? Because acceptance doesn't mean resignation. We're not saying, okay, I accept what is. I accept that people may never change. I accept that we may never, that our world or our whole planet may die in another 5, 10 years. Like, I accept that that's part of the possibility, but I am not going to resign myself to absolve my passion and my caring. I'm going to hold strong to my conviction and hold hope that if we are around, I'm going to do what I can do to make it a better place to be. So as we move into that place of settling and acceptance, really let that passion stay kindled. Let yourself be the beacon of light. Let yourself hold the hope and the vision and extend that love and compassion to everyone. Because when we're accepting, we're not accepting the behaviors we don't believe in. We're accepting that we're all on a journey and we're all on walking the pathway, different places, different times. And so accepting is not resignation to, well, there's nothing I can do. It's accepting the bigger picture of, I will try to be a beacon of light for the people on the pathway. I will stand strong to my truth and be a symbol of the safe shore. Or sometimes the lighthouse is a warning of the rocky conditions, the rocky shore. Right? So be the beacon of light. Hold to your beliefs. Hold to your conviction. Hold your vision of a future. And hold the bigger picture. We're all on paths walking together. And some may actually walk in, and probably will, walk in your direction, guided by the beacon of light that emits from the core of your being, along with that love and compassion. And know that that will be true. That will be true. And that is what you're here for. All right. So take a deep breath. Inhale all of your energy into your core. Exhale, drop down and land into your pelvic bowl. Lean into your spine. And I just want to say one more thing. If you are a person who is here to stir things up so that we can see the things that are hard to see, in the animal rights movement, in the vegan world, there are a number of people in that role. And if that is your role, I do not mean to dissuade or disparage that role, because somebody's got to do those kind of things too. The people who are shine the light on things that are hard for us to see. yes, that's a valid role too. So I just want to acknowledge that because you do definitely stir up a lot of controversy, and you do it in the name of what you believe in, and it is an important thing to do too. So I just want to acknowledge that as we wrap up our meditation and healing circle for today. I hope this has brought you some level of clarity and settling all of the various pieces inside yourself so you can be a stronger beacon of light, love, compassion, and truth, and really holding to your conviction and to your passion and to your vision as you guide people who are all on pathways with love and acceptance to find a deeper truth within themselves, and God willing, one that will help us to create a sustainable environment and a peaceful world, better health for ourselves and each other, for the animals, for the planet, for everything. All right. And with that, I am going to end the recording and open for the Q&A. If you're on Facebook, there's a link there in the description. You can go to that webpage, and you can either you'll see a place where you can comment the form there on that website, or you can dial in and press *2. So if you're on the phone, press *2. If you're on the webcast, you can type into that form if you have a comment or a question or need support. If you're listening to the recording, please join us on Sundays at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time. You can find information for joining us live at communityforconsciousliving.com, communityforconsciousliving.com. And while you're there, be sure to sign up to receive reminders and replays. When you do, you will receive 2 free gifts. One is a one-sheet, 10 spiritual principles of our human existence, which help us to remember the truth of who and what we are and why we're here, what this earth journey is about. It also comes with a 15-minute downloadable guided meditation that I hope you will download and use as a part of your daily practice to help you to connect in with that pure divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion that is the core of your being. All right, with that, I thank you very much for being here today, and we're opening now for the Q&A. Thank you.